Hi friends, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. It is a beautiful evening here in Pennsylvania and I'm getting ready to cut some flowers for the flower stand tomorrow. We're going to be, oh, an apple's attacking me. We're going to be cutting some Bouquet, bachelor's buttons, nigella, snapdragons, some ranunculus, maybe some sweet William, and then we're going to be pairing all of that with sunflowers. It's not going to be too hot at the flower stand tomorrow, so I can finally use my Bouquet. Now the jury is still out on whether or not we should cut the Clarkia. Someone made a great suggestion that I should just cut the tops off just like I do with gladiolas and then put them in the bouquets. But they just bloom so low down on the stem. I'm not really sure if it would be worth it. I think at this point, seeing them grow, seeing how they grow in the garden when they're happy, I think I'm just going to use them as an ornamental plant. So even though the Clarkia was kind of a fail in terms of a cut flower, I think I really like it in the landscape. It almost looks like little butterflies, like Gara in a way. And mainly, I just love the color pairing here with the Bouquet in the landscape, the catmint, the elegant salmon Clarkia is the cultivar that we grew, more Bouquet, and then I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera, but back behind there I have another river of bachelor's buttons. I have a gold hinoki cypress, which you maybe don't get to see on garden tours because it's back pretty far. And then that red shrub in the background is a ginger wine 9-bark. So it looks like I need to clean off our sunflower bench a little bit, but I just love the color and the texture here, and I especially adore these Martagon lilies. I love the way that they look like orchids, and I was trying to figure out what they smelled like. I thought maybe they smell like vanilla, but I think they actually smell like apples. So if you grow Martagon lilies, let me know what you think they smell like, because I was having a really hard time identifying, what was it that I was smelling. It really does not smell like a lily. It smells like an apple with a hint of vanilla and maybe the faintest whiff of lily fragrance. That is a really odd description, so let me know if you can describe it any better than I can. Well, enough chit chat. Let's get to cutting. So now in terms of processing this Orlaya for the heat of the flower stand, I'm going to go ahead and remove all the white flowers. I know that might seem a little bit painful, but even at 85 degrees, if these sit out there until say noon, they are just going to melt to pieces. And I have tried every trick in the book in terms of hydrating them, and the hydration works really, really well as long as they stay inside. But when you take all that extra time to condition them properly, and then you just put them out into 94-degree temperatures, this is just a much more reliable way to use Orlaya at a flower stand when it's hot outside, in my personal experience. Look at these beautiful nigella. Now these are fresh enough to use. Isn't that beautiful? That probably just opened a few hours ago. So I only had a few of these Potomac purple snapdragons ready for harvest, but look at the stem length on that. Can you see it touching the ground here? That is an amazing stem length on these snapdragons. So I planted these 4 inches apart. I did not pinch them this year because I was hoping to have them for Mother's Day. That didn't happen, but the stems are so thick, so strong, and just so tall. Look at that. That's awesome. I can't wait until this whole bed blooms. So let's start with a nice upward facing Vincent sunflower for the center. I did also go ahead and pick some Sweet William, come in with a spike. I'll basically add almost one of everything before giving it a turn. That beautiful Nigella pod, a bachelor's button, oops, ranunculus, imperial blue larkspur. So here's the Clarkia. The tip is kind of floppy, so I'm gonna sacrifice it to the point where it's not floppy anymore, which looks like about there. I don't know, that just doesn't really seem to work. You know what, let's cut it even more. I don't know. I think I'd rather just grow more larkspur. Bupleurum. Go ahead and give it a turn. Kind of just repeat all those ingredients over again. Coming pretty close to the end now. So we'll just add a few more stems and then I'll finish it off with a ring of Bupleurum around the outside. If I feel like the bouquet is getting too tight, I'll move my hand down on the stems. Instead of holding it up here, just pull my hand down a little bit, and that really helps loosen things up. So at this point, we'll add the Bupleurum all around the outside. Usually 3 stems is good, because Bupleurum is so big. A good substitute for Bupleurum would be Baptisia. Similar look, more of a blue tint to those leaves. And we're ready to go. It's 7:45, so we're done just in time. I always try to be set up by 8 a.m. if I'm going to be open that day. It's about 11 o'clock now, and so far we've sold 1 bouquet. I've been planting some geums out here, and it's been so hot, but also so incredibly dry here in Pennsylvania that I'm taking some extra precautions as I plant these geums. I'm digging the hole and then I'm watering the hole itself with about a half of a watering can. Now I'll give it another half watering can, some mulch around it, and just pray for rain because even the ground is cracking. The grass is brown. All my new grass is just brown at this point. It's so sad, but what can you do? And my husband and I are tag teaming the watering every morning. I'm not sure it's ever been this dry here before for this period of time, at least since I've lived here. I used to live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So this geum is called Totally Tangerine, and I went to a new nursery the other day. I was looking for bear's breeches. I've always wanted, hi Grace, how you doing, love? Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. So I was saying I was looking for bear's breeches. They were sold out. I saw these geums, and is it like this where you live? But around here, it is really hard to find geums that look good in any type of quantity. You know, I got 6 here. I think that's the most I've ever seen at one nursery. It's usually that they'll have 1 geum in bloom, and the blooms aren't held very nicely on a lot of geums. I'm not sure if that's the way they are just when they're grown in the containers or if some of them perform in the garden like that. But it just seems like it's really hard to find a lot of nice geum plants at the same place. So even though I couldn't find the bear's breeches, I scooped these up And I'm excited to have them because now that I have the elegant salmon clarkia here, I can tell that I really love having this color in the garden. And now I'll have this in the garden as a perennial via these totally tangerine geums and also this beautiful peach agastaki. But now I need some more water. Well, friends, sorry, no time to put on a microphone. It looks like we're gonna get a big storm, so I need to break down here at around 3 o'clock. And this is another reality of selling roadside. Well, it's the next day. We did not really get any rain. I think it rained for about 2 seconds, then it stopped. But it turned out that we were under a fire warning. I think that got downgraded to a red flag warning, so we're not supposed to be burning anything. And then they were saying that the air quality was unhealthy here because smoke was coming down from Canada to Pennsylvania. And last night it was about 9 or 10 p.m. I let Grace out and I said to my husband, it sounds like everyone, or it smells like rather, everyone in our neighborhood is having a bonfire tonight. That's so strange given the fact that we were under that red flag warning. But I guess maybe it was that smoke coming down from Canada. So my prayers go out to anyone that might be dealing with fires in their area. We're definitely dealing with a drought here. I'm guessing a lot of you guys are dealing with drought, so I hope we all get some rain really, really soon. Although to be honest, I don't see any rain in the 10-day at all. So all that to say, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video and start shooting another one, which I'm really, really excited about. It's going to be a combination of videos that I've had in mind for a number of years. I think I'm just going to sit down and talk through all these situations. So basically I want to talk through every cut flower that I've ever grown. And I think I'll just grab a couple books for reference and we can just go through all the cut flowers together. But really, focus on growing cut flowers in this particular climate, which is a hot, humid, and generally wet climate with heavy pest pressure, growing organically, and selling at a roadside stand where the flowers need to be able to take the heat of a roadside stand. Which cut flowers perform well in those situations, which don't. There's a lot of really great resources, articles, videos, podcasts about easy cut flowers to grow from seed, beginner cut flowers. However, if you are growing in a climate similar to the one I'm in, and if you're selling at a roadside stand, I would be willing to bet that most of the flowers on those lists really are not the best choices based on my personal experience here. And so I want to just share some alternatives to things that you might see on a list. For example, zinnias, cosmos, calendula, lunaria, basil. I don't bother to grow any of those things anymore. Instead, I'm growing the tough stuff. Lilies, Solomon seal, forsythia, gladiolas, peonies, ranunculus, things that can really, really take the heat, can deal with the humidity in this area, and that are relatively easy care in terms of pests and diseases. That's the book, that's the information that I wish existed 8 years ago. And so I'm just going to speak from the heart in that video. I don't have any notes or anything about it, but it's information that I really, really do want to share and really kind of emphasize the fact that growing cut flowers and what you grow is so specific to climate. Not necessarily zone, but climate plays such a big deal in terms of what are going to be the easy flowers to grow, what's going to be the best return on your investment, what's going to be the most problem and pest-free. So with all that to say, I want to wish you a wonderful day. I'm going to get started on that video and hopefully we sell the remainder of these flowers and we all stay safe and hydrated. Let's all pray for some rain. Until next time, happy gardening. Bye.